have finally begun trial for Hanna Payne. I hope y'all remember this. This was 4 years ago. Man. So they've had a lot of delays in this trial. Very interesting. Now, she is the woman who chased down, and deleted a man, an elderly man. He was over 60, and she was 21 years old, y'all. 21 years old. And this was in 2019. Okay. Now, this is over here by the airport. Okay. Over here in Atlanta. Okay. In Atlanta. And this was near the airport at a very busy intersection. And she said that she saw him hit another vehicle. And she said that he left. And she needed to chase him down. Y'all remember that? Okay. Now, just to refresh y'all memory, the man was having a diabetic coma. And he was trying to take himself either home or to the hospital. Okay? She wasn't involved in the accident. She didn't know the guy. She had no involvement whatsoever, except for she was claiming to be a witness, right? So she decided that it was to become her duty to run him down, right? Now, she called 911. And, the 911 operator said, ma'am, don't chase him. Don't run him down. Don't follow him. Go back to the, scene. And we're going to get a statement from you. And she said, no, I would not stop following him. Okay? That's what she said. So this woman had a gun on her. She T-boned a man, I guess doing a cockpit maneuver. Well, I guess T-bone and pit maneuver is not the same. But hey, I'm not a cop. Neither is Hanna. She got in front of his truck. He was driving a Dodge, a maroon or red Dodge pickup truck, and she had an SUV. I believe she had a Hummer. And she just got in front of him, caused him to, crash into her car. She did that. And then witnesses can say, and I believe on 911, they can hear her yelling at him, get out of the car. Repeatedly. She shot him multiple times. Okay? 69 years old, Mr. Kenneth Herring. Okay? Multiple times. And she went back to her vehicle and changed her sweater. So, according to her attorney, there was a struggle. But we don't think that that's true, right? That man allegedly never got out of his car. And he was already disoriented and startled. And she was pointing a gun at him and she was yelling at him after she had just caused the crash. I don't even think he could properly process what may have been going on. So this woman calls 911 and she says, hey, this man just shot himself with my gun in my hand. She said that. Then there was people who came out for her and said she is not racist. Yeah. She doesn't see color. Listen, okay, let's just keep it real. That's an ignorant statement. When people say that, you already lost me. You already lost me. Are we colorblind? I'm looking around. I see a lot of colors. If I didn't see color, I'm not sure what I would see. Would everything be gray? That's a color. Would it be white? Isn't that a color, dude? Would it be just dark? Would I be blind? What will I tell the doctor? What will I tell 911? Because how am I going to drive myself to the doctor? But if I suddenly didn't see color, or if I never saw color, that would be considered what? Abnormal? Okay. Got you. Yeah. She had a black girl, this black girl's boyfriend, and her boyfriend, alleged boyfriend, who was of another race. And they came out and said, oh, she didn't see color. And then her parents came out and said, she did nothing wrong. She didn't cause this. You don't believe me? Okay, cool. This is a court hearing. Well, an attempt court hearing. There, however, is no indication that he had a stroke. So I cannot go forward with the trial today because this Payne is not. Now, this is her lawyer that didn't show up, didn't contact the courts, and they were supposed to start trial. Now, the judge says she's had plenty of problems with this guy pulling these type of stunts, so she, he's in trouble. But what I will tell you, Miss Payne, is you need to seriously seek new counsel. I am going to find that Mr. Tucker is in contempt of court. He failed to follow the rules of court in notifying the court. I am going to also file a grievance with the State Bar of Georgia because of his behavior. This is not the first time I've had an issue with him failing to come and come on time. He's doing you a disservice because you've been here. And I think she's fine with that. I think she's fine with it, and I think that there's it's not uncommon for people to try to stall. And that's usually in like civil cases. Stall you out, get you to the point where you just can't keep affording to do it. But why would people stall in a murder trial? Interesting. Let's see. I'm going to fast forward all this and let's look at her now, Miss Payne. Payne, those of you who are here for that trial are free to go. There will be another. This is the long neck woman. And her mother's got a giraffe neck as well. Her mother and father are pretty big, and she wasn't necessarily this big when this happened, but she's gaining some more weight. But I guess that's genetic. Trial, however, and you have my ready list. You need to be ready. We're calling lawyers who should. I see Mr. Jones in the audience. Like, you're not ready to go forward, right? You have an issue, medical issue. So your staff has been advised. So there's some trials that will go on. If y'all have the ready list, we're calling. I think Kylie Lawrence is calling next. The judge is not stupid. She says, well, your staff would have known. Why nobody contacted me? Because your staff also knows you're supposed to be in court today. Maybe they want a different judge. Well. Read the list. This is back for campaign. Judge, do we have any follow along to see how he's doing? Maybe see if Judge Scott will let you have her trial meets for the 5th and the 12th. I don't know what to do at this point because you all know here in this circuit we have very definite days that we're having trial. I already have a trial specially set in December. I have just trial specially set up until April, is that right? 2023. So I have a lot of speedy trial demands that have been filed. We've specially set up to April. I think I have some room in January. And that's 2 weeks. So it's my... Look, so I'm gonna have to go and see what judge they have, because this lady here, she knows she black to me. Did you hear? She's backed up. They were set. This time slot was allotted for them to have trial. The TV crews were there and everything, right? Maybe if we stall, we definitely get a white judge. Now, why would that be? Well, this is Georgia, okay. And when there was an outcry for her to be arrested, because Can you imagine she was not arrested? A lot of people were calling and harassing and threatening, and you know, she didn't do it. Let her go. Let her go. A lot of people. You see how they stick together? And guess what? Most of those people didn't know this girl. They didn't know her. Would we do that for our people? Did we do it on the opposite end on behalf of him? Now, there was some turnout for this man. I ain't gonna lie. But where are they now? And was it as much for her? No. Did they go away? No, they still supporting her. We got to do the same, y'all.
2019 case. I want to try it. I don't want to go into 2023. This is not the only 2019 case I have. And per what you guys have told us, each judge has about, 34 murder trials? Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of work to do here. I want everybody to be on notice, sufficiently on notice when we're going to do this. It will not be in December because I have another 2019 specially set murder trial.
Listen, this is a lot for Georgia. I mean, excuse me, one county in Georgia.
Family and the witnesses. I know. And I want everyone, for each side, I want the family to know, I want the defendant to know when this trial can possibly go, but it's not going to go too long. So I may have to go back and talk to some of the other attorneys about the dates that I've already specially set that are more recent than the 2019 case that I have here to see what I can do. But certainly, Ms. Payne should make sure she has counsel that's going to be here. Now, I'm not saying what...
This woman don't have no problem getting counsel. Anybody would pay for it. You know? Because they support each other like that. What about other families that are waiting for justice to start in their cases? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not really making any disparagements on Mr. Tucker, but he knows what he should have done so that we could have all been aware prior to today, because you knew Saturday. Yes.
You see? I'm gonna be honest. I feel like she should have been held in contempt as well, because she didn't inform the court. And yes, it was his responsibility, but isn't it also her responsibility because she is the defendant? And she showed up like she didn't know. Now, Hanna's been at home this entire time. 4 years. She killed a man. She killed him. Now, listen to the detective read off his witness statements that were gathered that day. Just listen.
All right, so you were talking about the Ericksons. So how far away were Mr. and Mrs. Erickson from the walking in of the
Now, I'm pretty sure there were way more people than this that probably didn't even stop or didn't stop and give a testimony. I literally passed by this scene right after it happened. Before they even towed the vehicles. Bunch of cops and things out there, and I saw it. I'm like, how in the world did they even... How did this type of accident occur? Because it was weird, right? You couldn't wrap your mind around how did this vehicle get in front of this vehicle in this lane. It didn't make any sense. Then to find out that this is what occurred, it's crazy. Imagine these people just driving, minding their business, and they see a woman T-bone a dude and get out and, start doing what she did and then end up shooting him. Now, listen to what the witnesses say. This woman been home 4 years. Listen to the witness testimony.
Mr. Payne's vehicle into blocking the parents' vehicle.
Yeah, they're approximately about 250 feet away on the opposite side of the interstate.
So they were facing them.
Correct.
So, if there's a traffic light in between, you're the Ericksons and I'm the other two.
Correct.
And was the view obstructed?
No.
All right.
traveling on Riverdale Road, headed towards the hospital, and that's when he observed Payne at the driver's side of Mr. Herring's vehicle, constantly repeatedly striking Mr. Herring.
Okay, so let's back up. Did he see her walk her?
Did you hear that?
In the face and to the body.
Hold on.
Was his window down?
Yes.
So she was punching through the open window and striking him where, did Mr. Erickson say?
In the face and to the body, to the upper chest area.
And how close did Mr. Erickson get to them before his wife stopped him?
Probably within 60 to 80 feet.
And did he notice anything as he's walking up that she had with her?
He doesn't notice at that time.
Okay. So as he sees the...
Okay, so he definitely need to be referring to his notes so he can make sure that he's giving accurate information. Okay, he about as sloppy as that handkerchief hanging out of his jacket right now.
Does he say anything or do anything?
Yes, he yells to Payne to stop, to leave him alone, to stop, and I can read exactly what he said. Okay. Actually, by referencing his statement, he does state that he does see a gun.
See?
Okay, so, let's back up. When did Mr. Erickson see that there was a gun? Who had the gun? Where did Mr. Erickson observe the gun when he first saw it?
He observed Hanna Payne hitting Mr. Herring as we seated in the front driver's seat. And then he observed Hanna Payne remove her gun from her side and state that she was going to shoot him.
And was she using those kind of words, or was she using more colorful language?
She was using more colorful language.
And what would the more colorful language start with?
The F.
Okay, so she was saying, you don't have to use the word, just say what he said she was saying.
Get out of the effing car, and then I'm going to shoot you.
And at this point in time, was the gun out?
Yes.
And how?
See, this is crazy because I don't care what her parents say. I don't care what her alleged friends say, her alleged boyfriend say. I don't care what the Pope say. If this was a black man that did this to a white woman, he would already be gone. They would have had him from the scene and this entire time. Okay? And it would be very difficult for him to escape this in any way, shape, or form. And we all know this. Somebody put in a comment of it was this situation. Another brother had did a video on this. And somebody got in the comment section and it was like, why you gotta make this a race thing? This doesn't have anything to do with race. Well, we can talk about that in a separate video, but I'm gonna stand on this. Everything has to do with race. Okay? So you can miss me on that.
Did Mr. Erickson describe how close the gun was to Mr. Herring?
He described the gun to be within the windshield, the window area, within inside of the truck.
So inside the truck. And Mr. Herring was sitting in the driver's seat.
Correct.
Did Mr. Erickson observe Mr. Herring to be hitting back or have a weapon of his own?
No. He described Mr. Herring to have
Girl, if she don't stop, girl, cut it out. Just stop.
From the punches as well as the gun.
All right, and then what happened according to Mr. Erickson?
He was grabbed by his wife, and then he saw two officers that further down the street where he began to try to get those officers' attention.
And he turned. Did he turn, or was he running in the same direction as he was watching what was going on?
Hey, Lark is sharp, ain't he? Yeah, look at the cuffs and okay, do your thing. Hey, that's money right there. Just want y'all to understand. Look at it. Look at the suit. Look at the suit. Look at the suit. Look at the suit. Look at the tie. Look at them cuffs. Okay.
His wife pulled up in the vehicle and they drove down to the officers to get the officers' attention.
While that was happening, did they hear or see anything else?
Yes, they heard a gunshot.
And then did they proceed to the officers, or did they go back to the scene?
Proceeded to the officers, because at that time they heard a gunshot. They were approaching the officers, and then him and the officers ran towards the gunshot.
All right. And Mrs. Erickson, does she have anything to add to what Mr. Erickson told you?
I'm not, I don't think that they allowed the attorney to cross-examine him in this instance because he's given witness statements or his account of witness statements. Because as we can see, in my opinion, with every question, he should have referenced the actual statements. But notice her attorney is writing his behind off. Okay, he has the same copy of these statements. We know this in trial. Everybody got to have the same things. The judge, the attorneys, they all, if you come up with something and other people don't have a copy, the judge, the other attorney don't have a copy before court, then it's a problem. And you're in trouble because you can't do that, right? So her attorney knows everything that's written there. Why do you think he's writing so much? Why do you think he's writing so much? As a defense attorney, why would you be writing so much right now? You already know what's in the statements. Because they are testifying on behalf of the witnesses. And this man is not referencing the statements. He's more so, from what I'm saying, he is more so giving his own testimony on using his memory from what the statements say. And he didn't interview all these people. So even worse, he's giving his memory accounts of what the statements were that were even taken by other officers. He is only periodically referencing these statements because he feels like, he feels like he might not be able to remember that part. Now, as we can see, one of the testimonies that was given, this man says, the DA asked him, did the man say he saw her with a gun? He said no. Okay. She asked him another question and he references the statement. And then he sees that the man did say he saw her with a gun. That's a very important detail that can seriously help convict her. The man did say he saw her with a gun. Now, he would have omitted that part if they would have just had finished out and moved on to another witness. So what happens when you discover later that this actually was in a witness statement? Are they just relying on only this account of what the witnesses said? I don't know. But you can believe her defense attorney is going to tear this apart. He's having a field day over there. He's writing an essay, thesis, and all that. Listen, they doing this all wrong. I'm just trying to tell you.
To that particular set of facts that he gave you.
No, her story was consistent with Mr. Erickson. She saw Payne repeatedly striking.
Look, the boy won't even put his handkerchief in right. Come on.
Mr. Herring at the driver's side window and yelling for him to get out the effing car.
Did either one of them ever see Mr. Herring hit back?
No.
All right. Witness number 2 that you have on here is a Ms. Rosser. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Ms. Rosser was part of...
Now, notice her in the comments. This lady said, if you listen to her testimony, she said she saw the woman shoot the man, but she said, oh, wow, I didn't realize I was a witness in a murder trial. How'd you get here, ma'am? You saw this occur, but you want us to think that you didn't know the man was killed by her? Okay, we see you, sis. You want to do an interview? Yeah, is that okay?
Approximately how far away from Miss Payne and Mr. Herring?
About 40 feet.
So about as far as you and I are apart.
Correct.
And what did Ms. Rosser relate to you she saw?
Yeah, Ms.
Other officers.
Yes, she indicated that she thought that Payne was banging on the driver's side window because of the fact from where her view was. But when she was able to drive around the accident, accident, she observed Payne striking Mr. Herring, punching him.
With what? Her hand?
With her hand, yes.
Did she know which hand was hitting and what the other hand was doing?
According to the officer, she was hitting with her left hand and holding the gun in her right hand.
Did Ms. Rosser observe Mr. Herring hitting back or have a weapon of his own?
No.
And
Okay.
did she actually see?
So this is just my conclusion. After everything you guys have heard so far, this woman intended to kill this man. She wanted to provoke him enough to where she can say, he attacked me and I had to defend myself. And he did not attack her. As we now know, the man was already having a diabetic coma, so he really was even more defenseless because he was essentially dying already. You know, and then you look back on cases like George Floyd, regardless of whether y'all believe fake, whatever, just the arguments of he didn't die from the whatever the officer did, he died from using fentanyl. Well, we cannot use that argument here. We cannot argue he was already dying from, because she shot the man. Okay? She shot the man. She shot him.
When the shot
She
occurred?
shot him.
Yes.
And describe that. What did she describe?
Yeah, she described she heard one shot and that she observed Hanna Payne return to her car and change her clothing.
All right, and so who was the fourth person that was interviewed?
The fourth person would be Ashley Jackson.
All right, who did Miss Jackson interview with?
She interviewed with Detective Chapman.
And what did how far, you don't know where she was parked?
I'm not clear on that.
You're not clear. Be sure. Be sure. She interviewed with who? You be sure. This was a year ago. You got it in front of you. Did you really read this when you came in? No, we don't think you studied up good and you just taking a test. You got the cheat code right in front of you. At least make sure you pass. Make sure you got your answers right, because the attorney gonna have a field day with this. No, how do we know you know? Why not check and be sure? This don't make no sense to me. Come on, Sloppy Joe.
What did Miss Jackson say she had observed?
While speaking to Jackson over the phone, she observed what she said to be a physical altercation at the driver's side window and a gunshot. Detective Chapman went more in depth on the interview with her, and I haven't gotten that update yet.
But he didn't relate to you that.
Ma'am, Miss Rosser, can you get out of my face? Because, girl, you saw a man get shot, and I can't even look at that comment anymore. It's distracting me. Like, you ain't even go on the news and follow up. Please, listen, what y'all may not know. So many people was advocating for this girl to not be arrested, and to, when she got arrested, for them to let her go. Okay? Can you imagine how it goes when, a black person gets killed unjustly by the cops or whatever, and people, start protesting and calling and stuff? They were doing that, except for they don't protest. They don't need to protest. They got power that, can work with just them, taking on and just, hey, telling you. A lot of them telling you. And you know how they do. We be like, please, we want to see justice. Nah, they be like, let her go. You let her go. That's how they make demands. With authority. Okay.
Miss Jackson saw Mr. Herring with a weapon of his own.
No.
And did she relate that he was striking back, or did she relate he was in a defensive posture?
A defensive posture.
So, who was the first police officer that arrived at the scene?
Officer Ritchie.
And what happened between the defendant, when the defendant saw Officer Ritchie? So Officer Ritchie was in a suit like you, or in a uniform?
He's a uniform officer.
Was he one of the ones directing the traffic down the road?
Correct.
And what happened between the defendant, Payne, and Officer Ritchie when he first got up there?
Defendant Payne handed Officer Ritchie a holster firearm with a shell casing in the chamber.
And he took possession of that?
Correct.
Now, let's go back to the 911 outbreak.
Okay.
When Payne arrives, she's still on the phone with the 911 operator when she pulls in and blocks the victim Herring in.
Correct.
And what during that, and that 911 call is recorded and we have possession of it.
Correct.
So what is the 911 operator when she realizes that the defendant Payne is blocking in Mr. Herring? What does the 911 lady say?
Yeah, at that particular time, the 911 dispatcher repeatedly was telling Payne to remain at the original incident location where it's safer, and she has officers already en route.
She is telling this woman not to chase him. Okay, this woman didn't see this man run over no little baby. She didn't see this man hit a pedestrian and leave the person laying there. There were 0 injuries. And get this, y'all. The man allegedly, because the accident that may have occurred, I still haven't seen anything from the other person that was supposed to be in the accident. So I'm going to say allegedly. However, when you see the video, and I'm going to show that, this was a international. You know what internationals are? It's an 18-wheeler. It's an 18-wheeler. Okay? Hey, if anything, that man was lucky that happened, if it happened, and his car didn't get ate up along with him. So what kind of impact was it really? And you talking to somebody who been driving those things for 12 years now. What kind of impact was that really? I'm talking about even a ding, or what y'all would consider a ding, because there's really no such thing when you coming in contact with the biggest thing on the road. Okay, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. And this woman was chasing him down like he ran over her cat. This is crazy.
In the background, because at this particular time it doesn't appear that Payne has her cell phone with her. In the background, you can hear, "Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the effing car!" And then it's just kind of silent. And then she returns to the phone and said, "He just shot himself with my gun." On the 911 call.
Hold on, and y'all. Oh, my bad. Y'all.
Did you know that seniors on Medicare are eligible for a healthy...
Which can be
Y'all
used in
see
Walmart
this?
and thousands of other...
I'm so tired of this. I am so sick of this. I press skip. And look, this is the second one. The first one was, I think, a grocery one. Okay, let's go. Let's go. What we got? What is this? Senior Allowance Program 2023. Did y'all hear anything about this? Huh? Because these people kept saying that this is going to go away. And it hasn't. Okay, it's for seniors. All right, let's go. Of course I do. And it don't matter if I do, right? Because, I mean, see, look, 4 spots remaining. Okay, this is, hopefully nobody's falling for this. All right. Hopefully nobody is falling for this. I don't know why it's allowed. But look, now you got to call. See, you only got 3 minutes. And then my spot would not be reserved. And there's 4 spots left. Right? But they've been doing this for months. So the spots are that limited? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck. Nah.
First and last name for both of you. My name is Margaret Payne.
This is her parents. Okay, these are her parents. These are her parents.
This is my husband, Rick Payne.
Okay. So you guys are very emotional today. Talk about hearing, you obviously got an outcome that you were looking for, $100,000 bond, your reaction.
Listen, I see where they get it from. I see where she get it from. Now, I don't believe she was crying for real, but her daddy, he crying. He crying. I ain't never seen nobody daddy cry because they child killed somebody. Or because they in jail. Especially when they just got a bond and they know they're about to get him out. Why is he crying profusely? See, this is the type of life that this girl was given to allow her to even have the audacity. I don't know what they was telling her while she was growing up, to make her think that she could do what she did. Look at how they acting. Just listen to these people. Listen.
I'm speechless. I'm just so glad, that it went that way. I mean, we're sorry for what happened and everything in regards to Mr. Herring's family and everything.
You hear that? This woman shaking her head like, hey, let my daughter go because she ain't got nothing to do with this.
But Hanna is not the person that they are saying she is. She's not at all. She's the sweetest, most caring. Does not see color, does not see race.
Okay. Now, let me say this, because the don't see race thing, that to me is hogwash. Okay? That's hogwash. Because let's just go ahead and simply debunk that right now, real quick. Okay? Look at this. What do you see here? We see race. We see people of different races. That's what we see. That's how this goes. We cannot escape it. You cannot escape it. Everything has to do with race. This country was founded upon things based on race. All right? They have battle over there right now because of race. It's always about race. You can't say you don't see race. Where did you grow up at? Where did you live at? What planet was you on? Okay? Did they all on that planet totally ignore anything to do with race? There were no differences between anybody on that planet, and then you came here 5 days ago and you're like, I don't understand how everybody is so concerned about race, because we don't see race. How can you not see race? Not even in this country, but in this world. Everywhere you go, they got issues about race. Okay, they're discriminative against their own people because they too dark. One country is against another country because they're not of their race, so their race is wrong, their religion is wrong. What do you see when you look at this picture? Let's start from the left. We see color, because he dark. He stands out just like his blue shirt, even though a lot of them are wearing blue-based clothing. We see him. He dark. He's a dark brother. Then we look to the left of him. What do we see again? Race. We don't just see people. We see race. If anybody asked us to identify this picture, what we saw in this picture, who we saw in this picture, we saw a dark black man, dark-skinned black man. We saw another guy who appears to be, I don't know, El Salvadorian. I'm not really good at this, but he is of some maybe mixed race, but not white, and probably not just black. Okay. Then we see the mama and the daddy. They look white. We see a man behind in between them. He seems white. Behind him seems like a white man. Then to the left of the daddy, we see 3 heads that are of black people. Okay, the hair. We don't even really see their face. We see their hair, and we see some of their skin color. These are the things that help us identify what race they are, in our opinions. Look at the girl with the weave. Then come on, she black all day. Look at the other one. Looks like a little afro, maybe, and another little mini afro. Okay, that's how we gonna identify what we see in this picture all day, by their race. Who doesn't see race? That's a bullshit ass statement. And people need to stop doing it because it comes off as disingenuous. All day, every day. So you full of shit there. Come on. Where else? Where else?
It's just an amazing human being. She is. And if you ever get the chance to know her, you'll realize that as soon as you lay eyes on her.
Talk about you guys kind of got thrust into this as well, and sitting there in court and watching your daughter.
Shut up. Okay. Their daughter's an amazing human being. Who don't say that about their child? Who don't say that about their child? Tell me. Well, but it's most mothers are gonna speak of their child like this, especially when they know they're in trouble and they need to defend them. Sweetie Pies. Did that woman turn her back on her son? He killed her grandson. And he did a whole bunch of other devious stuff. She didn't get on TV and not say he was an amazing child. I don't think she said it was amazing, but she sure didn't bash him. Mama's gonna stick by their children, so whatever on that. But let's just see how that doesn't match up with reality, ma'am. Your daughter's amazing. Nobody's gonna call her amazing. Y'all blowing smoke up our butts. You are. And I want you to know that. You want us to think your daughter is simply amazing. Well, what do we define as amazing? What do we define as amazing? I'm going to tell you what we don't define as amazing. Chasing down a person who has done nothing to you, T-boning them, beating on them, demanding they come out the car, pulling out your gun, and shooting them. And then going back to your vehicle, changing your sweater, and telling the 911 operator that kept telling you not to do what you did, that he shot himself with your gun in your hand. Okay? If your daughter was amazing, when that 911 operator repeatedly told her to stop following him, her amazingness would have came through and said, you're the authority figure here. You're the one who is closer to the law than me. You're instructing this call with the authority that you have to do so, which is reason why I called you. You're giving me instructions. I think you have the best opinion here in this situation. I'm going to listen to you. An amazing person would have did that. Wouldn't an amazing person really attack and shoot an innocent person? No, not at all. So, yeah.
Feel the emotions and to see her in pain. Talk about what goes through your mind as a parent.
Just pain. I mean, I'm completely heartbroken. I feel like something is missing, and it is missing, and it's Hanna.
You know, listen to the news reporters. Listen to the news reporters asking them about their daughter's suffrage. I just want y'all to see everything is about race. This is about race. I don't care if you have a different opinion. Just watch your mouth in my comment section. This is about race. Feel sympathy for the whites. That's how this goes. Every time. Every time. How does it even make sense in reality to be sitting up here asking these people about the sorrows of their daughter? And she literally killed, that man is gone. His heart don't breathe no more. It don't. He is not with his family. They cannot see him anymore. whatever, however long he was supposed to live, whatever else he was supposed to do with his life, whatever else opportunities to have an impact on his family and leave behind, this is how they gonna understand he left after living for 62 years. She chose that okay, that's enough for you. Bye-bye. But these reporters are asking them about how they feel. They are do y'all, if we didn't know anything about what happened and we just came across this thing, these are victims right here. Look. How is this possible? Would this be happening to a black family? Y'all always say y'all get tired of people making these arguments, but how about the people making the arguments are tired of this being the reality? You ever try looking at it like that? Because y'all can't... Listen, these people are going to defend themselves and each other until the death of them. They're programmed that way. It's in their DNA. They're born like that. They're taught like that. That's how they see all of their people move. This is how they move. Okay? And we move how we move because that's all we've ever seen. But you can change it. So I don't see no excuses there. They're going to defend their actions. And, hey, do that. But you're not going to change my mind. And you're not going to change my opinion. I know what I see. I know what I see. Y'all getting all this sympathy for this woman and this man who won't even admit that their daughter did something wrong. She took a life. She took a life. And these reporters got them. And this is in Georgia. This is in Georgia. Child.
Just mentioned about the family, Mr. Herring's family. What do you want to say to them? I just wanted to say that this was an unfortunate situation. You know, turned out the way it did, but not at the hands of my daughter. What do you mean not at the hands of your daughter?
Here we go. Who has the audacity to say something like that? Only white people. Okay. When them two men went and got that black man in the truck to show them where Emmett Till stayed at, and they drug him out of his uncle's house and took him out there and tortured him and beat him, tied a cotton gin fan to his neck and threw him in the lake. What type of attitude did they have? The same. Like the audacity for y'all to bring charges up on me. We didn't do this. This wasn't our fault. These are the people that will beat, torture, and other things and kill you. And somehow it's your fault because you just a nigga. You just existed. You just broke some kind of policy that they feel like you cannot do. Look at them. Dead in the eyes. Address them with the wrong tone. Allegedly whistle at their wife. And we shall not be held accountable. Because we got a right to do that. And we can do what we want to do. And say what we want to say to get out of any perceived troubles. This woman just said this didn't happen at the hands of her daughter. How did it not happen at the hands of... Whose hands was it? Oh, his. Okay. So let's just say that's the argument you giving. If your daughter wasn't there with her gun, that wouldn't even happen. Which we know it didn't happen like that. She shot him. He didn't shoot himself. If your daughter wasn't there chasing this man down, crashing into his vehicle, beating him up, he would still be here. We hope. So how's it not at the hands of your daughter? And then look at the faces behind her. Just look. Look who's behind her. Look who's behind her. Look who's behind her. Look who's behind her. This is a sickness. This is a sickness.
It was not her fault.
What do you guys think happened?
I don't know. Yeah.
Look, attorney.
Can you talk about what led? She had a concealed weapons
Okay.
permit?
Yeah.
Now, those two don't go together. They don't go together. Those two don't go together. Attorney, we can replay that. What y'all niggas doing back there supporting this shit? You ain't. We not that good of friends. I know you took somebody's life when you shouldn't have, and didn't have no good reason to. Could have avoided the situation, and it was just an absurd situation. And I'm gonna sit up here and come to bat for you and speak up in public. What's really going on? But what's the attorney though? What's the attorney?
You know, turned out the way it did, but not at the hands of my daughter.
What do you mean not at the hands of your daughter?
It was not her fault.
What do you guys think happened?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Real quickly, then I'll change course on that. Can you talk about what led? She had a concealed weapons permit.
Yes.
Can you talk about what led to her getting the?
So, I mean, he doing his job, right? But clearly, she probably would have said something she had no business saying. She probably was gonna say he did it. She didn't do it, but you can't say it wasn't her fault and then turn around and say you don't know what happened. Those two don't go together. How do you know it wasn't her fault if you don't know what happened? So, girl, bye.
And what her
Just everyday protection that the society that we live in today. You know, I mean, you hear about it every day on the news. Innocent people are getting shot. People are getting broken into. You know, she travels around Atlanta with her job. Just personal protection. I mean, and everybody has the right to do that.
Ms. Payne, do you think she would have made the same decision no matter what the race of the person involved in that hit and run? Absolutely.
Yes.
Look who was the first to start shaking their motherfucking head. Y'all gotta stop with this. This is
Just personal protection. I mean, and everybody has the right to do that.
Ms. Payne, do you think she would have made the same decision no matter what the race of the person involved in that hit and run? Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Hannah doesn't see color. Yeah. She does not see color.
Okay.
She sees right. She sees wrong.
So, okay, right and wrong. Yeah, that's where I was about to go. With him asking that question, do you think she would have done the same thing regardless of what the race was? They don't think what she did was wrong? I don't think there's really anybody besides somebody who just want to defend her that would say that, you know, what she did was right. Imagine if we all ran around with that mindset that we can do what she did or we should do what she did. Imagine. First of all, there'd be a lot less people getting hurt, right? Because anytime somebody sees somebody do something to somebody else that they feel wasn't right, they're going to run them down, beat them up, and kill them. People gonna think twice. Well, if I try to kidnap this person, or if I hit this person, or if I yell at this person, or if I just whatever, all these people around here, somebody gonna run me down and beat me up and kill me, because that's right. And that's even talking about somebody who actually does something to somebody. This woman assumed that he didn't have no business leaving after he did what she felt like he did. Who is she to even decide that in such a minute situation? He didn't hit nobody, leave him hunked over, car on fire, knocked down, going to 911. Nobody got hurt. He allegedly hit an 18-wheeler. That's a tractor and trailer.
That's who she is.
What are you going to do when you're going to post that bail, I would imagine, today, and then what?
Hopefully just hold my daughter and never let her go, you know, but I can't do that. I mean, we were getting torn apart.
Hondo, tell us your relation to Hannah.
She's my girlfriend.
Just tell us your reaction. How long have you, first of all, how long have you been dating Hannah?
Like 2 years.
So what's your reaction to what she's been going through in this whole situation? What was your reaction when you first
What she been going to? No reaction to what she did? Allegedly did, because I know they have to say allegedly. There's no trial yet, but y'all see this? I mean, just look at the scene here. And this is why shit like this happen to people like us. This is why. Because you always gonna have flunkies that enable these people to keep doing the shit that they doing. It's no different than back in the slavery days or when we were sold, allegedly. It was your people that sold you to the people who bought you. And look at them.
Happened, in that case, because that's not Han at all. Like,
he was dating that big ass, ugly ass girl. I mean, he might be a nothing, but he's not unattractive. That's the best he could get. Hanna? That family must be good at buying niggas. Right? Why homeboy looking like that in the back? What's his issue? Who you mad at, son? You can't be serious.
They say, she been through like a lot of problem with job, her job, family, it's just a lot of stuff, that she was handled. And that thing, that's all that happened, she just have like too much shit going on.
A lot of people are bringing race into this issue and pointing to that.
So, I don't know, but I hope the prosecution digs into that a little bit. Because,
That's just not true. Because you can tell, like, all the Hannah's friends, you can see.
These are friends?
She's not like that. What's your nationality? Dominican.
Oh!
So you don't see her seeing race?
Someone say, why they asking what's his nationality? What race got to do with it?
Not all. So what do you think when you hear people make this into a race issue? Well, people that they said that because they race. That's what. Because if you see right here, I'm not seeing color though.
Okay.
We just humans.
Okay.
That's what I think.
So when you put that shirt on, you didn't see that it was blue. It's just a shirt. When people pick out their outfits, they don't never say, well, this match with this. How does it match? Because you see the patterns that have colors. It's not winnable. It's not ever winnable.
Been best friends with her since I was 14. I'm 20 now, so I see y'all met in high school. Yes, ma'am. Right, so talk about Hannah.
She is an amazing person. In marching band, it was mentioned earlier, she was my parent. And she took care of me through high school. And after that, we became best friends.
Listen, I just, for one of my finals in history, government, whatever, I'm going to be doing a report on Black Lives Matter. Okay, we had some choices and I chose that. The research is interesting. Okay, so when you talk about hopes and, this wasn't true, it didn't really happen, or it happened, but it was intentionally purposed for certain things. At first you be like, whatever, and this is this. But then if you do research, okay, well, y'all mad at Candace and Kanye and whatever, then you start to see things that you cannot deny. You cannot deny. And when I look at this case, I begin to wonder if it's not in the same category. Is it not in the same category? Because this is just not, it's just weird to me. It's weird to me. And listen, this is just simple. We know what she did. So how can all these people show up to say she is an amazing person? Not one person condemning what she did. You don't gotta tear her apart, but you can't even say, yeah, she shouldn't have did that. That was wrong. You know, I feel sorry for his family and the fact that, you know, he's no longer here, but maybe there was some good explanation for it. I mean, something dumb like that, but nobody is addressing the fact that this woman did something that we would not do. First of all, you know it's wrong. Secondly, you know you're going to get in trouble for it. Why? Because that's not something amazing people do. So what the fuck is up with this?
Loving and caring. I just love her.
Were you in marching band with her?
Yes, we both played the clarinet. I was her section leader.
When you heard about what happened, essentially, what did you think?
I really couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
So mom says the girl see right and wrong and that's it. So this chick here, she just love her. Okay, cool. So if you did something wrong, you think she would do you the same way? Because it's about right and wrong, not you being my friend.
Believe it.
What was so hard to believe about it?
Because that's not Hanna. Because what the news was saying, it just wasn't Hanna at all. And I couldn't imagine her doing something like that out of malice, and that's what they were saying, and that's just not Hanna at all.
Did you know that Hanna had a concealed weapons permit?
No, I did not know. But
okay, so let's go ahead on. Like I said, this is how is this not? It's something more to this. How's it not? How's it not? She her best friend, but she didn't know she had a gun. But she can attest that this is just not something she would do. You didn't know she would get a gun.
I'm sure she got it because she needed protection, you know, just what normal people do to get, you know, protection.
So, I just, the whole, you know, we have to ask you as well, the whole race issue that people are bringing into this, and obviously that's the victims, your family feels that could be an issue. What's your reaction to that?
How many more people probably need to get a gun after seeing this because somebody crazy can just run up on you, T-bone you, beat you up, and shoot you out of the blue?
I believe that it's easy for people to say that because that's the racial climate right now, and that is a lot of the stories you hear going on, but that's not the case, and I can say that personally because I know Hanna, and if that was the case, I would not be friends with her, and she's not that person at all.
You've never heard her say anything questionable?
Ever.
Okay, a message, you guys want to say anything to the...
She not credible. She didn't know that she had a gun. She not credible at all.
The victim and his family?
Just that we are deeply sorry for what happened, and you know, if it's a real unfortunate situation. You know, she didn't mean any malice. She didn't come. You know, they say she came with her gun.
Are they paid? Who told him to say that? He's saying the same thing she said.
But you know, she didn't come with any violent intent. She didn't come to take anybody's life.
Don't step foot in another Target or Walmart before you secure.
Oh, here go another one. Listen, she came with her gun drawn, but she didn't come with any malice intent. The two don't go together.
4-year-old woman charged with murder in what police call a case of citizen's arrest gone wrong will stand trial.
This is what they call it. The police are even calling it a citizen's arrest gone wrong.
In Clayton County, here we go. Hanna Payne is accused of shooting and killing 64-year-old Kenneth Herring in May of 2019. Joe Hankey joins us with a preview of this case ahead of the jury selection tomorrow morning. Joe.
Well, that's right, Jeff. Hanna Payne is charged with both felony murder and malice murder in this case. She has been out of jail on bond since 2019, but tomorrow she will be back in a Clayton County courtroom where, after several delays, her trial is now scheduled.
She charged with felony murder and malice murder, and she is out.
To finally begin, Clayton County investigators have previously described Kenneth Herring running a red light and crashing into a semi-truck on Howell Parkway at I-85. He then drove away from the scene of the crash where no one was injured. But police say Payne witnessed the hit and run and followed Herring a short distance away.
No one was injured.
and tried to confront him. Officers have called it a citizen's arrest gone wrong. Investigators accuse Payne of shooting Herring several times as he was in the driver's seat of his own car. Now, the shooting and Payne's arrest took place.
So is it felony murder, malice murder, or a citizen's arrest gone wrong?
In early May of 2019, later that month, during a court hearing, a 911 call Payne made was played. Investigators say on that call, she is heard ordering Herring out of his own car. During that hearing, a judge said there was enough evidence to send the murder case, to trial. Days later, Payne was released from jail on bond, but the next month she was indicted and rearrested, only to be released on bond again in September of 2019. She's now been out of jail and wearing an ankle monitor.
Only arrested because there was a demand for her arrest. Then there was a demand for her release.
Ever since, as her trial has been delayed several times since 2019 for various reasons. Now, this case is set to go to trial, as he said, tomorrow. Prosecutors tell me they expect the trial to last about 2 weeks. We'll have a closer look at the case and how Herring and Payne's families have responded over the years, coming up tonight on 11 Alive after Sunday Night Football. Jeff?
Complicated story. It's a lot of moving parts.
A lot of dynamics here, and it'll be interesting to see how that trial plays out. They say about 2.
Okay, so this is the scene, y'all. Pay attention to the truck sitting there, because that's what he allegedly hit.
He was a deacon at his church in Atlanta.
That's another case. We're going to talk about that.
Of murdering 62-year-old Kenneth Herring after an alleged struggle over a gun back in May of 2019. Just moments earlier, witnesses say that Herring had run a red light and hit an 18-wheeler, causing damage to both vehicles. The then 21-year-old defendant pulled over to help, but when Herring got back into his car and drove off, the defendant, Payne, decided to follow him and eventually confronted him. Court TV's crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson has more on that case.
On May 7th at approximately 6:15 p.m., Clayton County Police Department responded to a person shot call at the corner of Forest Parkway and Riverdale Road.
May 7th, 2019, 21-year-old Hanna Payne witnessed 62-year-old Kenneth Herring run into an 18-wheeler at a busy Atlanta area intersection during rush hour. She and another eyewitness, a corrections officer in the infirmary at a nearby prison, had rushed to his truck to find out what happened.
He observed Mr. Herring to have red to orange eyes. He observed Mr. Herring walk around his truck several times. He was disoriented. He was asking what happened, who hit me, what's going on.
Payne stayed at the scene of the accident while the corrections officer attempted to assist Kenneth Herring.
He was disoriented and he was saying what happened and who hit me. But she felt like what? I can't even say.
What had happened, according to both EMS and to members of his family, was that Mr. Herring was a diabetic. They thought he was having some kind of a medical emergency and trying to drive himself to a hospital. It's about 3 miles from where all this happened.
About 20 minutes after the accident, Kenneth Herring left the scene, and the medic witness asked Hanna Payne to follow him to get his tag number. Payne was on the phone with 911, and the dispatcher told her to stop following.
Who asked? That's not true. What did they just say?
Of his family was that Mr. Herring was a diabetic. They thought he was having some kind of a medical emergency and trying to drive himself to a hospital. It's about 3 miles from where all this happened.
About 20 minutes after the accident, Kenneth Herring left the scene, and the medic witness asked Hanna Payne to follow him to get his tag number. Payne was on the phone with 911, and the
So, I hope they have this person in court. A medic witness allegedly told her to follow him. Does that sound right? Would a medic tell her to do that?
Dispatcher told her to stop following Herring. Atlanta station WSB showed a video of Payne crying in court when the 911 call was played in a hearing a few weeks after the incident.
No, we actually do not want you to chase them. We just want you to be safe. I'm sorry, but I'm here to tell you I'm not. We're not going to follow him because he can't going to cause another accident.
But Hanna Payne did not go back to the scene of the initial accident. She followed Kenneth Herring for about a mile before she was able to cut him off and force him to stop.
An altercation then ensued between the two of them, and during the altercation, Mr. Herring was shot and killed.
Man, you just pulled the trigger of my gun in my hand. Man, I'm not supposed to follow him.
The state says after the 911 call, Payne told police officers multiple times that she is the one who shot Mr. Herring.
There were multiple statements made by this defendant. She makes the statements to two police officers when they arrive on scene that are prior to any detention, spontaneous statements. The officers generally ask who fired the shot. So she makes statements to both of them, and then it was her. An officer walks up to her and asks her if she minds telling him what happened, and she gives a statement. She is then taken to Clayton County.
This woman been out 4 years, done dyed her hair. And this man can't do none of that. She told the officers that she shot him.
Police department, where she was then Mirandized and gives a full interview.
Payne's defense team says that she was trying to keep Kenneth Herring from causing a second accident.
The defense has kind of said that she was this all-American girl.
She was trying to keep him from causing another accident, but she actually herself caused another accident.
Type, and that she was just trying to be a good citizen when she decided to follow Kenneth Herring and get his license plate.
Prosecutors say that Hanna Payne acted with malice, premeditation, and they've charged her with 3 counts murder as well.
Yep, good job, prosecutors, because, I mean, let's say that's the case. When she hit him, and he had no other choice but to stop, could she not have gotten his license plate then? Where was he going after that? You wrecked his vehicle. So, we stand right here till the police get here, right? I got your plates. Nah, this wasn't about getting his plates.
As weapons charges.
Jury selection was set to begin today, followed by opening statements this afternoon. But when the defense attorney, Matthew Tucker, didn't show up this morning, the court soon discovered that he was in the hospital. Despite having possibly suffered a stroke, Tucker was found in contempt of court by the judge for not alerting anyone to...
Right, yeah. We saw it. We heard what the judge said. This isn't his first time, and he and his staff should have alerted them. That's the procedure. So, yeah, get them bags out your eyes.
The development.
I'm going to find that Mr. Tucker is in contempt of court. He failed to follow the rules of court in notifying the court. I am going to also file a grievance with the State Bar of Georgia because of his behavior. This is not the first time I've had an issue with him failing to come. He come on time. He's doing you a disservice because you've been here. And you have a right to have counsel who's going to be diligently representing you and advocating on you zealously, and he has not been doing that. So I would advise you to find new counsel. I will take care of everything else on my end. There's no...
This case has started now. We'll see what happens. Leave your comments below.